Welcome to Chaotic Adventures in Baking at Dog Height. Since it's Pie Day, we're gonna make some pie cookies inspired by a delicious savory pie, broccoli and cheese. And it's gonna be an experiment the whole way through as I made up this recipe and didn't test it before now. Here we go! Working off of the heart-healthy treat recipe we made before, we're keeping it simple and only using broccoli, Parmesan cheese, oat flour, an egg, and water. Learning from my past mistakes, I only added enough water for the dough to come together, making sure the dough wasn't too sticky so that I can work faster and hopefully give Arbor less time to snatch the rolled out dough. We also baked right after breakfast, my theory being that he'd be too full and tired to be really chaotic. Fingers crossed! Broccoli is high in fiber and vitamin C, and is good for dogs cooked or raw in small amounts. However, don't let your dog munch on a whole broccoli crown, as the florets contain isothiocyanates, which can cause mild to potentially severe gastric irritation in some dogs. Arbor was fully on board for the broccoli, the cheese, and all of the ingredients really. And baking right after breakfast definitely curbed some of his chaos, making the process easy as pie. And finally, after waiting patiently and taking a nap or two, it was time for the taste test. Success! Looks like Arbor likes them so much, he wishes he could have 3.14 of them. Who knew broccoli cookies could be so cute, tasty, and hilarious? Today, we're taking it back to 2007 and making a dog-friendly not a cupcake as we talk about learning physics through the Portal video games. In Portal, players have to navigate a testing facility using a portal gun, all while being bribed with the promise of a delicious cake by a pleasant AI voice, though you quickly come upon scrawled writing on the wall claiming that the cake is a lie. To pay homage to this aged meme, the non-cake cupcake we're making today is a recipe by A Saucy Kitchen, and is only apples, peanut butter, and an egg. Full recipe details in the description. Because of the way the portals work, Portal has been used to help explain physics concepts like acceleration and conservation of momentum to teachers and students alike. Thanks to Portal introducing concepts and mechanics one at a time within the regular gameplay, rather than in a separate tutorial, players get to test and experiment with each mechanic, exploring the possibilities and functions before more complexity and variables are added. As a player progresses through the game, they face increasingly difficult puzzles that require them to apply the knowledge gained in the previous levels. This structure of experimentation, learning, and application likely influenced the results found by researchers Shute et al., who showed that 8 hours of playing Portal actually improved mental rotation and spatial navigation skills. But beyond just playing the regular game, Portal devs also released a simple-to-use level designer called Puzzle Maker, where players can create their own levels. This takes the learning to another level, since players can now be tasked to create specific environments and situations to test different ideas, draw conclusions, and use that information to adjust the level design until they get it to do what they want it to do. While some inaccuracies in the game physics have been identified, like how if you set up a portal loop to fall forever you'll never actually reach terminal velocity since the portals have a speed limit, this can actually enhance learning if handled thoughtfully. By asking students to make predictions before experimenting, and then to reflect on the accuracy of those predictions after experimenting, students can apply their understanding of physics at a deeper level to identify which elements of the game physics are unrealistic. And as a bonus, one teacher reported that during his Portal lessons, he had virtually no issues with classroom management, since the students were focused, engaged, and actively participating in the lessons. Sounds like they enjoyed learning through video games almost as much as Arbor enjoyed eating this non-cake cupcake Portal lie cake. A binaural beat is an auditory illusion that happens when you hear two slightly different tones, one in each ear, and your brain processes the sounds as the difference in the frequencies. So if you had a tone at 121 Hz in one ear, and a tone of 132 Hz in the other ear, your brain would gradually hear a tone of 11 Hz. And your brain activity will then match that new frequency, changing your brain waves. This change can impact how you're thinking and feeling by increasing or decreasing different brain functions, and is what leads to the claimed benefits of binaural beats and how they may mimic a meditative state. Alright, I have successfully hyped Arbor up, and now I'm gonna pop these headphones on him and play some binaural beats to see if they can calm him down. Wow, that worked way better than expected. So, if sirens could hack our brains with powerful binaural beats to induce an exaggerated effect of these tones, they could potentially hypnotize folks and lead them astray. Moral of the story? Always keep a pair of headphones near ya on the high seas, just in case. To demonstrate this sort of extreme cold, I got some dry ice, which exists as a solid like this at -78 degrees Celsius, just a bit colder than our hair's northern range. When we put that dry ice in water, it immediately turns into a very cold gas, shoots out into the environment, and cools down the water vapor in the air. It condenses that water vapor into a very cold cloud, not unlike the air in really cold climates. Did you know that rabbits like music? Generally, rabbits find classical music calming, while their love of repetition means that if they hear a song over and over, they'll start to recognize the music and respond to it. Like if they hear your favorite song for the 40th time in a row, they might start blinking or binkying around. Binkying being that cute weird jump twist thing rabbits do when they're happy. But not all rabbits like music equally. Rabbits can actually have very different personalities from individual to individual, and their music appreciation abilities are heavily dependent on their background. If your rabbit came from a pet store, where there was lots of hustle and bustle, noise, and potentially music playing, they're more likely to find music appealing. Since rabbits are such social creatures, music might even help them feel less alone. Similar to how some folks leave the radio on for their dog when they leave the house so the dog feels less alone. If your rabbit is instead more of a nervous Nelly, they might not find music soothing, and you'd be better off leaving CBC Talk Radio on for them instead. But regardless of personality, one thing most rabbits can agree on is their dislike of sudden, loud noises. While they might like some novelty once in a while, like some pop music if all you listen to is classical, maybe keep the heavy metal and EDM for when the rabbit's not around. And it's probably for the best to avoid playing your homemade horn around them too. Where would Star Wars be without its signature weapon, the lightsaber? Goodies and baddies alike love these danger plasma swords, and you can actually make one at home. And not even just one made out of cardboard, but one that actually lights up and is still safe. No danger, or plasma, or sword. Let's get started. Where a regular lightsaber is powered by a kyber crystal, science hasn't yet found any earth crystals with quite the same capabilities. So we're gonna make a simple circuit with some copper tape, an LED, and a battery instead. I'm working off of Rosie Research's instructions, and have put the link below if you'd like more detail on the process. And though we don't have kyber crystals, scientifically calling something a crystal just means it has a really well-organized molecular structure. And the atoms in the battery I'm using are arranged in a crystal structure, so it is kinda like we have a kyber crystal. Except our battery won't change color through our will or emotion or rage. Probably a good thing. I was gonna use a red LED since Arbor can be a bit dramatic at times, but since he was full and sleepy, he felt peaceful and chose green instead. I fancied up the handle, and then it was time to test. Geek Tropical is a US-based small business with over 400 amazing geeky and nerdy designs available on super soft button-up shirts like Arbor and I are wearing, or you can snag them on Hawaiian shirts, bucket hats, dresses, or even kids' Hawaiian shirts. You'll find designs for D&D dudes, science sweeties, fantasy fiends, botany bros, anime appreciators, queer queens, and more. Whatever your interest, Geek Tropical probably has a design for you. All of their designs are licensed from artists who actually get royalties for every sale of their designs. Plus, Geek Tropical has a firm no AI art stance, so you can rest assured knowing that every purchase you make will support a geeky or nerdy individual just like you. And that's not all. Geek Tropical prints to order to avoid a lot of the waste from large batch fast fashion processes. They use a trademarked, super soft, stretchy, moisture-wicking fabric, and they have over 1,500 5-star reviews. So if you'd like to join the party, use the link in the description to help support this channel, and use code ARBOR, that's ARBOR, at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. Thank you to Geek Tropical for sponsoring this video and sustainably crafting such awesome geek-tastic clothing. Battle Edition. Today, Arbor's gonna compete in a leaping battle against Storm. As Arbor and Storm live in different provinces, we had to make this a virtual competition, but we made sure to put the barriers at the same height so the competition is as fair as possible. Let's meet the contestants. Arbor is a 2-ish-year-old rescue pup of unconfirmed breeds, but the best guess is German Shepherd, Husky, and Collie. He stands 26.5 inches to the shoulder and can definitely jump high when he wants to, mostly when excitedly body-checking humans or leaping over other dogs at the dog park. Storm is a 4-year-old Border Collie Australian Shepherd cross. He stands 24 inches to the shoulder and is super springy, jumping to face height with ease from standing still. And they're off! Level 1, 6 inches. No problem for Arbor, and that height was so easy Storm's family elected to jump right to Level 2. Level 2, 12 inches. Too easy. Level 3, 18 inches. Bit of a stumble from Arbor, but more from a commitment issue than an ability one, while Storm makes it look effortless. Level 4, 24 inches. Easy for Storm, and Arbor did technically make it, though in my attempts to get a clean jump, he discovered he could just remove the obstacle, which definitely bodes well for Level 5, 30 inches. Storm flies high over the final level, while Arbor surprises no one by choosing violence instead. Even though Arbor had a slight height advantage, it didn't mean anything in the face of a dog made of two of the springiest breeds that exist. Hats off to you, Storm, you really jumped into action. You know, you just hopped right in and made it look easy. Truly unbelievable. Rescue Dog IQ Test, Part 1.
Today, we're going to do an IQ test on Arbor to determine if rescue pups are just as smart as their purebred cousins. So, let's get into test 1. Now in this test, I'm going to throw this towel over Arbor's head, and it's all about how long it takes him to uncover himself. So, immediately! You got it. You got it. Should we try again? Yeah, okay. Whoa. Oh, no. Why is this time so much harder? Oh, that took a long time. Good job. Give me one more time. You ready, baby?
Off to an amazing start. Let's keep it going.
Today we're talking about moths and Mothman. Now, Mothman is a cryptid from West Virginia, and moths are insects. But who would win in a fight? Let's investigate. Moths are about 0.16 of an inch all the way up to a foot in length, while Mothman is a large humanoid creature with a wingspan of up to 10 feet. Pretty big wingspan, eh? Yeah. Moths, though very similar to butterflies, tend to be duller colors and have stouter bodies, while Mothman is usually depicted as black, but has also been described as brown, maybe dark gray, but usually black. Yep. With favorable winds, moths can reach speeds of up to 31 miles per hour, while Mothman is reported to have reached speeds of 100 miles per hour when chasing cars. Mothman is always described as having glowing red eyes that are reflective like one of those bike reflector thingies, and that are frightful or fearful or maybe even hypnotic, while moths actually have eyes covered in tiny little dimples. They do. And those dimples are anti-reflective. They actually bend incoming light. As the light comes in, it refracts and bends. And this makes them anti-reflective. And these eyes are actually even being used as an inspiration for screen technology, anti-glare screen technology, so you can look at your phone in bright sunlight. Cool, eh? While most moth species are nocturnal, and they are drawn to bright lights, Mothman is reported as being pretty completely nocturnal, and he avoids bright lights, like headlights. Moths are often viewed as symbols of transformation, and are even associated with death and dying as soul guides, guides to souls of the newly departed to help guide them to and through the afterlife. Now, Mothman is also associated with death, but from a bit more of a destructive point of view as a harbinger of doom. Mothman sightings have often been reported right before pretty disastrous events, such as the 1969 Silver Bridge collapse in West Virginia. So, who do you think would win? Mothman?
Should you lick a grung? A grung is a small humanoid frog-like creature from D&D. Grungs are perceptive, stealthy, and, just like 220 real-world poison frog species, they're brightly colored with poisonous skin. Where real-world poison dart frogs are only poisonous thanks to their diet, and can be rendered harmless when fed crickets and other non-poisonous insects, grungs are born poisonous. If any creature touches a grung, they have to roll to see if they become poisoned, which is not fun since being poisoned in D&D means you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. But where a real-world poison frog's bright coloration simply warns predators of the dangers of eating it, a grung's bright color indicates what additional effect you experience if you touch them. While some of these effects are just fully bad, like not being able to move laterally or being frightened of your friends from a green or orange grung, respectively, the other effects are strange and kind of hilarious. Touch a blue grung and you have to make a loud noise at the start and end of your turns, which would suck if you're stealthing, but funny if you're just trying to talk to it. Gold grungs charm you, which is bad, but also make you able to speak grung, which I mean, fun. But my favorite are the effects from red and purple grungs. Touching a red grung means you have to spend your turn eating any food in reach, while a purple grung creates in you a desperate need to soak yourself in liquid or mud, and that is all you're allowed to do on your turn. The randomness of these additional effects, for me, puts the grung somewhere between a poison dart frog and a cane toad or Sonoran desert toad, whose venom can produce psychedelic effects at low doses. And getting snacky, seeking comfort in unusual but natural sources, or feeling like you have to adhere to an unusual set of rules definitely has drug trip vibes. So, would you lick a grung? Let us know what color you would lick in the comments.
I bolt onto the table.
Is that a natural one?
That's a natural one.
You leap forward and trip and face plant in the rows.
Jump up on the table. So I have it too.
Now get stuck in between the bench and the table. She face plants.
Jumping on tables can't be that hard, right? What about jumping on other stuff? Ability check. You're so calm today. He's being smart about it because we are testing intelligence. And I was smart in that I got a much bigger die. Arbor was getting a little interested in trying to chew the small one, so we had to upgrade. We now have a nice big one that he hasn't gotten to play with yet, but he's very interested in. So today we are going to test intelligence. We're going to look at Arbor's investigation skill, because I think his straight intelligence doesn't make a lot of sense to think about arcana or religion or things like that. But investigation is a pretty standard intelligence skill to test. So let's imagine that Arbor was out on a wonderful adventure, right, with your party, and they enter into a room and he's got to find something. Now, Arbor can be pretty good at finding stuff. If there's a treat, he can find hidden treats, but he gives up pretty easy. So, I think we're gonna say that Arbor, come back, come here. He's starting the investigation already. Arbor, what's this? What's this? Come here. Oh, does that smell good? So we are going to roll for an investigation check. He's gonna have a +0 to this flat roll because again, he can be really good at finding stuff, but he doesn't stay focused long enough usually to do it. So let's see. Let's say DC 10 to find the secret trapdoor entrance to the room full of treats. Yeah? Okay. Hold. 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 Catch. Oh, good catch. Oh. All right. This is intelligence check for Arbor and dexterity check for me. Okay, ready? Catch. Oh. Okay, ready? Ready? Catch. Okay, drop. Drop. Okay, so even with a +0, Arbor has a 12, which is pretty good. That would pass the test. You did it. You passed. High five. Yeah, good job, buddy. So Arbor would be able to focus long enough if the room was full of treats. Yeah? Do you want to play again? Oh, good job. Okay. Drop. Drop. No? You just enjoy. Oh, oh. It's very bouncy. Oh. Oh, good catch. Good catch. Okay. Drop. You drop? Can I have it? Drop. 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 Oh, good boy. Oh, if he rolled with advantage, he would get an 18. Even better. So, I think we have proven that this boy, pretty smart boy. Join us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for more fantasy science, dog ability checks, and fun stuff like that. Yeah, Arbor? Yeah. I think it's fun.